Good evening, good evening, good evening to you. This is Tina C. Hines, a life transformation specialist. I know you're probably saying, Tina, this is so unlike you. You're never up late doing a Facebook Live this late. However, there was something that I wanted to share earlier in the day, but I got a bit distracted. And so I wanted to make sure that I was able to share this message with you while it was still fresh in my mind, while the feeling was still there. This morning, I was making several Facebook Lives inside of a variety of communities, but I still wanted to share this with my community on my business page, because I thought that it could add some value to you. It could perhaps give you some food for thought as you prepare to rest for the evening, prepare to slumber. And you never know. You never know what can come out of the messages that I get when I'm processing in my journal. So just give me a second so I can share this Facebook Live inside of my various communities. Thank you so much for sharing, Nina. I appreciate you. But let me go and find it so I can share it on my personal page and inside of my communities. So what do we have? Well, I sort of shared it earlier today. And hi, Nina. Up, Nina. Okay, let me undo that one. Oops, too late. I already did it. Hi, Tawana. So let me just share this, and then I can get started. And I got the sister friends I got there. I think I got all of them. I'm going to do it there. Might as well do it there too. Because I broke it down depending on the community, and how it pertained to each person, each community that I've had. But now I'm going to really dive deep into it. Hi, Grace. Good evening. Good evening. I'm going to dive. I broke it down depending on the. So that. So, just in case my scroll doesn't go up. Hey, Tiffany. Glad to have you here. If you guys have yet to click the share button, please do that even exchange of energy to click the share button, and invite some phenomenal women to this discussion. And I thought about doing a card reading tonight as well. So I don't know if my energy is going to speak to me to do that. If it does, I will. If it doesn't, I won't. But I was processing a lot in my journal today. And I'm going to share with you what I wrote in my journal. People always say, "Why? Your journal is supposed to be your private space." But sometimes when I'm writing in my journal, the messages are not necessarily always just for me. I recognize that sometimes my messages that are being received are for my sisters as well. And you apply it where you see fit. Hey, good night, Rochelle. You apply where you see fit. Hi, Sophia. So I'm going to share with you, I'm reading the word appreciate, share with you a small portion of what I wrote this morning. If you have yet to do that even exchange of energy, I would appreciate it. You guys give me some hearts, give me some love. Let me feel some yummy energy coming from you versus something heavy. I'm gonna put my crystal in front of me just in case. Yeah, so I'm always try to be on point with that. So I want you to listen to what I'm going to share, and it can apply in so many ways in your life. Okay, thank you, Tiffany. Tiffany, look. Tiffany, your name is going to be Tiffany, like Tawana's. Tawana, what was your name before? Tawana had two names too. Tiffany, you got two names, girl. I'm just like, I told you, I got so many Tawanas. It's funny as all heck. But Tina Cole, I'm always going to call you Tiffany for some reason. So it's Tina Cole. It's Tawana Nicole. And we laugh about it because I keep doing it. Like it's her name. It's hilarious. You see, I still, oh yeah. So Tawana Yvette was Tamika. So I was like, Tamika, you're gonna go by Tamika. It's Tamika, I'm gonna get it right at some point. So it was always hilarious. I'm a Judy Tolwyn. So it's funny, yeah. It was Tamika Tawana. Get your name right. No, don't you know your name? You know I'm talking to you. But it's funny because Tina Cole knows I'm talking to her too. She was like, yeah, I know. I'm gonna get it right. I got too many friends with the names that begin with T. It's comical as all heck. Okay, I'm good now. It's funny. I'm like, why do I keep? It reminds me of growing up with my grandma. My grandmother had 10 kids and me, and she went through everybody's name before she got to the right kid, and we never knew what our names were. I'm gonna just roll with it. She said, "I'm gonna." Tina Cole said she's gonna roll with it. And at some point, I'm gonna get her name right. She's like, "Are you gonna leave me alone? I'm just gonna keep correcting you, and you're gonna get it right." Okay. So, it is hilarious though. But see, Tawana Yvette can tell you, Tina Cole, I'm consistent. I do that to a lot of people. So this morning, I've committed to myself that I'm going to write in my journal, hi Patricia, for the next 21 days. I've committed to myself that I'm going to write in my journal for the next 21 days. So for the past 2 days, I have definitely been releasing in my journal. And there's always, there has been some profound messages that I have been writing. And one of them stood out this morning as it was the early morning, and I like writing in my journal in the stillness of the morning or sometimes at night when there's things I need to release. And so I have a question for you. If you've written in your journal in the last week, press the number 1. In the last week, press the number 1. If you've written in your journal in the last month, press the number 2. I'm not even gonna lie and say I'm not gonna yell at y'all. I'm gonna give y'all a side eye, especially if you're inside Tiny Love. Hi, Anitra. Especially if you're inside Tiny Love, because every Wednesday you get a journal writing assignment. Every Wednesday you get a journal. Rochelle, which one are you? Are you a 2 or are you a 1? Okay. So if you inside Tiny Love, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I know why I confused you. I said 2 and 1. And the reason why I said the last month is because there are some people who didn't do it in the last week. So I was giving them the option. Okay. So thanks, guys. Journal writing is therapeutic. And I encourage it a lot for the mere fact that we keep so much bottled up inside. And when we keep it bottled up inside, we get to a point where we can't sort things out. And we can't gain the clarity that we seek to have. And sometimes it feels like there's something going on that makes us want to explode. And so I encourage journal writing. And anytime you're talking to me and you tell me you're processing something, I'm like, when is the last time you wrote in your journal? Because it is hard to process it when you got so much shit going on in your life, to really process things that you really need to focus on. And so, but never wrote it on vacation. I've been there. So this morning I was writing in my journal, and here's the message that I received. When you know how something feels, you either want to get it back, you either want to get back to it or stay far away from it. If you want to get back to it, what will it take? Change, compromise, discomfort, and whatever else is going to come after that. When you know how something feels, you either want to get back to it or stay far away from it. So I want you to think for a moment. I'm going to take some of y'all back. If you've experienced it in your life, think about how it felt the first time you fell in love. That moment, that feeling that you had, the butterflies flickering around, your heart probably beating double speed. Think about that. Think about someone who made your heart sing. Someone who just gave you that good feeling of love. Think about the joy it felt when you got your first car or when you got your first new car. Think about after you went through the childbirth and you're holding that little person in your arms. Everybody has a vision of what that positive, because I'm focusing on the positive, that feeling that you want to get back. Because when you have experienced that feeling, you know what it looks like. You know what you're capable of doing. And so that's why I said, what is it going to take to get back to that point? What is it going to take? What changes do you have to make? What's going to make you temporarily be in a space of discomfort to get back there? A lot of people can tell you that I know how you feel about certain situations, but if they've never experienced it themselves, they don't know how it feels. They can imagine how it feels. Am I right? It's like the day I walked away from my corporate job and I skipped out the job, I was happier than a pig in shit. I was skipping out. I was skipping out into the unknown, but I was happy. And people will tell you, oh, I know how that feels. If you haven't done it, how would you know how it feels? It's almost like when someone loses a loved one, depending on the loved one. Unless you have experienced that loss, you really don't know how it feels. So I want you to think about what brought you joy, what brings you joy. What's your happy place? What is it going to take if you're not already there for you to get back to that space? What is it going to require you to do, which more than likely means stepping out of your comfort zone? Here we go with that word again. To get what you want. I can remember I've been in love twice. I've been in love 2 times, and each experience was different. The last one messed it up for everybody who came after him, who comes after him, because he just did certain things that made me feel significant, that I didn't have to downplay what I was capable of doing. He treated me like a lady. He did all the things that I wanted all them other ones to do, but sometimes I didn't allow them to do because I was too busy being Superwoman. It was a good feeling. And I would love to get back to that space. It felt good. It felt happy. I got all the flickerings going on inside. You all thinking about something right now, something that, dang, I really was happy then. The reason why I said I want to focus on the happiness is because unless you've truly experienced it, you really don't know what it feels like. And everybody, they can tell you, you can imagine, but until you felt it for yourself, you don't know. You have nothing to compare it to. People can say, this is what happiness feels like. This is what happiness looks like. And you could be over here on this side like, oh, okay. Is that what it's supposed to look like or feel like? It's even some people who are in unhealthy relationships. And they think this is what it's supposed to be like and feel like. So if you've experienced true, authentic happiness, you know that goal I keep talking about, I want everyone to experience in their life. If you've experienced it, type yes. Because I talk about this journey from hurting to healing to happiness, and I recognize perhaps it's my own personal journey. And perhaps it's not the journey many of my sisters desire to go on. And it just made me think about, what is it that has become an obstacle in your way, that has become a self-defeating behavior, that you don't want happiness? You know, we all see those little things, like people. Like, I like looking at older couples in their 70s, 80s, walking hand in hand like they are so in love. I like looking at little kids. I may not want to be around them, but I like looking at them. They don't have a care in the world because they're just happy. But where we are, where my age demographic is, we're on a journey searching. And oftentimes we don't even know what we're searching for. Because listen, when I was in that great relationship, don't ask me why we broke up, but when I was in that great relationship, I didn't know what it felt like before then. I've had some good relationships, but I had never felt a relationship like that. It never felt like that. So now that I've experienced it, I'm going to need more of that, because I was in love with him. It was great. I was in my 20s. What did I know? I was still finding myself as a mommy. And then the next person came along. I loved him, but I wasn't in love with him. It was something different. And then this one came. He wasn't intimidated. The simple things were important. wasn't flashy. And it did something to me. But I would have never known it if I did not have the experience. Many of you are waiting to take a leap, or whatever it is. And you've created so many visions in your head. But you won't ever know if that vision is going to be false or true. Because you won't bring the vision to life. You're waiting. I don't know what you're waiting on. I said, there's a difference between a talker and a doer. A talker is talking about the experience. A doer is having the experience. A doer can tell you about it. A talker can simply keep talking about the experience. They haven't truly lived the experience. So you can't take the talker's word for it. You can only take the doer's word for it, because the doer has experienced it. Hey, Miss Pamela. So it's like when we listen to people who haven't done what we want to do, but we listen to them. And you wonder, why would I listen to this person if you haven't even done it? I need to talk to somebody who's done it before. It's like me coming to you and saying, hey, let's go skydiving. Let's all jump out the plane. Oh, it's going to be scary. Oh, we're going to give out a breath. I'm going to tell you all of these things that's going to happen when you choose to jump out of the plane, but I've never gone out of a plane. So why not go talk to someone who's jumped out of the plane? Is it going to be scary? How am I going to feel? What do I need to do? How can I prepare for this? The talker can't tell you anything about jumping out that plane. The talker's still trying to talk themselves into doing it. The doer's done it. Many of us are stuck. And I think that's the struggle of the happiness, that key component. We want to be healthy. We want to be happy. We want to feel loved. We want to be loved. We want to love. But until you truly experience it, you're never going to know. You're going to be assuming it's going to be like this. Go, step outside your comfort zone. Have an experience. You can talk about it. I used to crack up laughing inside. And people would say to me, oh, I'm living vicariously through you, Tina. No, I need you to have your own experience, because your experience and my experience is different. Because what you want and what I want is different. What you look at as fun and what I look at as fun is different. I can remember my first retreat. And one of the young ladies, she was the youngest of my group. She made the decision that it was time for her to make a shift in her life. And she's like, I want to go on the retreat. I'm looking forward to having the experience. Oh, my friend wants to come. My cousin wants to come. Somebody else wants to come. I'm going to put down their deposit. Okay, fine. But as she started adding on people, something just said to say something. I said, I really want you to make sure your friends look at my website and see what the retreat is about. We ain't about to turn up. We about to do some healing work. And I don't want to have them come with the expectation that every night is going to be a party night in Jamaica. It's not that type of party. There are other retreats that you can go to if that's what you're looking for. The friends canceled. They didn't go. And I said, their expectation and your expectation were two different things. But here's the funny part about it. They made the assumption that because I said we ain't going to be turning up every night, that we wasn't going to turn up at some point. So what was great was she was able to connect with another young lady who was on a similar journey. And they became friends. And when we did Dungeons Fall, we did the shopping, we went to Margaritaville and they partied all night. I was ready to go before they were all ready to go, as usual. And the friends saw it. And the friends were like, dang, we should have went. You had so much fun. Look at everything you did. You can talk about it, or you can go do it and have the experience. But you were looking for one thing and you thought you were not going to have a good time. So you made the decision to say no to yourself. You made the decision to say no to yourself. So now you're upset that you didn't go. Your girlfriend had fun, but your girlfriend also did some healing work. And that was the difference. You weren't ready for the healing work. It's just like when I do the retreats in Anguilla. I'm like, listen, if Party is Central is what you want, Anguilla may not be the space you want to go to. Anguilla's for the chill woman. But that's why my clients are mature women. We're going to have fun. But shit, we done had our fun. All we want to do is chill. We want to sit by the pool. We want to sit on the beach. We want to read a book. We want to eat. We don't really need to party when we're in Anguilla. And look, my sister just joins in here from Anguilla. Hi, Jasmine. But that's what we want to do. And I think for the most part, a lot of us, we've lived a hard, interesting life. Sometimes we just want to tone it down a little bit. But it's important that you have your own personal experience so you know if you are seeking happiness and you have yet to experience it, will you recognize it when it shows up? Will you notice that something is feeling different in your stomach and it's not because you need to go to the bathroom, but something's feeling really good about where you are in your life? That happiness, hi, Miss Elizabeth, that happiness is important. If you are not, you're taking care of everybody else. You're taking care of the kids. Some of you are in the cycle of taking care of the parents now. But you still have to remember your happiness. You still have to remember that just as much as I love myself, I do want somebody else to love me too. I want somebody to care for me and nurture me and love on me. We want all of that. But you have to know what it feels like, and you have to stop listening to somebody who hasn't experienced it yet. It's like, I remember that you had fun in Jamaica and found joy in that trip in that spiritual room. Yeah. It's like me having conversations with women about marriage. I can talk to you about relationships, but I've never been married. I don't know what it feels like. I've lived with a man about this long. I can't tell you that. Oh, marriage is great. or marriage is hard, marriage is work, or marriage is this. I can't tell you jack diddly squat about marriage. I can tell you about some relationships, but not marriage. So I would be like, why would you listen to me if I don't know anything about marriage? It's like people who don't have kids trying to tell someone who has kids what to do. Would you really want to listen to them? I mean, I'm just keeping it real. You've raised other people's kids, but unless you birthed someone, it's different. So I want you to process that. You need to watch the replay to write it down, do that. When you know how something feels, you either want to get back to it or stay far away from it. If you want to get back to it, what will it take? And what are you willing to do? Life is not getting any shorter, ladies. Tomorrow is not promised. Although we keep telling ourselves, we'll do it tomorrow. Keep putting stuff off tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, my 50th birthday, my 60th birthday, Christmas, New Year's. I'm sorry, but anybody else want to be happy right now? Anybody want to be living their best life right now? According to you, it's not about anybody else. According to you. Miss Sabrina, hi, welcome. Why am I so lost at 57 in Delaware? Why am I so lost? That is a question you ask yourself. How much have you given away of yourself that you don't even know who you are when you look at her in the mirror? Please bring Kleenex, Sabrina. I just thought about that before one of my sister friends sing it. Bring Kleenex. Because you're depleted, sister friend. Sabrina, if you don't know who I am, Tina C. Hines, Life Transformation Specialist. I'm an intuitive, clairvoyant, medium, and an empath, and a healer. Did I miss anything, y'all? But yeah, you've given way too much, my sister. And if you would like to explore this more, I invite you to go to my website, tinachines.com, and schedule a consultation. But there's so much more on the horizon. It's time for you to start living. It's time for you to start telling more people no than yes. They ain't gonna like it, but guess what? You are living your life, not them. They don't have to like it. But if you don't take care of you, you will not be here. And then what? Then what? So, and the most incredible, loyal, and loving friend you could ever ask for. Thank you, Tawana. I want to see, as I said, maybe I'm asking too much, or maybe what I desire is not what my sisters desire. And all of you are my sister. Happiness, true, authentic happiness. And whatever it means to you that makes your heart sing. Because, okay, don't make me cry. When you're on this path from hurting to healing to happiness, we all know what the hurt feels like. We've all been there. In some form or fashion, we've experienced some type of hurt. The loss of a loved one, someone putting their hands on us, someone saying something that was inaccurate. We experienced some type of hurt, feeling of abandonment, fear. So we've got the hurt. When you're on that journey of the healing, it's unfamiliar to you. And you struggle with it because you know what to do with the hurting, but you're uncertain of what to do with the healing. And the happiness, that's sort of foreign because you've been stuck in between these two spaces of hurting and healing, going back and forth. But when you get to the happiness component of this journey, and you look back at the hurting and the healing component of it, you recognize that over here is where you want to be. And even though sometimes you get back to that healing part because life starts happening, shit hits the fan every now and then, again, chaos happens. You've experienced happiness, so you know what it feels like to get back there. If you haven't experienced it yet, the sense of urgency to get back to the happiness is not the same as you're trying to get there. Whatever you need to use as a crutch to get to your happiness so you can experience it, you need to get there. Because life is going to come, it's going to come slow, or it's going to come full thrust. But you know happiness. You know what it feels like. And you be like, I need to get back over here to happiness. It's important for my emotional well-being to get to happiness. Whatever it takes, I need to get to happiness. Whatever I have to give up, I have to get to happiness. Whomever I have to let go, I need to get to happiness. That's my ultimate goal. Happiness. So Grandma Jenny is like, do a card. So I'm going to do one card, messages from the angels. Give me a second. The card is Seraphina. Seraphina. I am the angel of families. A happy, there's that word happy, change or addition is coming to your family. Your prayers about family have been heard, and I have been sent to watch over you and answer your prayers. I am here to tell you about a beautiful change coming to your family. You are going through a period of adjustment right now to prepare for this change. It might feel chaotic or disorganized, but be assured that this is simply part of the nesting process. I will guide you through this time and help you with any upsets that may occur. Any challenges will stimulate forthright discussion, and this truth is very cleansing. It helps you to know your own feelings and priorities on a deeper level and allows you to share with others in a deeply honest way. Then, when the purpose of the turmoil has been served, the storm will blow over, revealing blue skies for all. This happy change or addition to your family is divinely ordered. Surrender any worries to God and allow heaven to serve as your spiritual family who helps, guides, and watches over you. We love you very much. Well, that was confirmation. Hi, John Michael. My nephew is here. So we talked about the shifts. We talked about the happiness. And I will allow a few questions. Just realized I spilled Nutriburst on the back of my cards. I will allow a few questions, but if it's in depth, I'm going to recommend you schedule time for us to talk offline because everything can't be handled right here and right now. But I think my message is, I feel like everyone's exhausted. My grandbaby on the way. There you go. Yep. I feel the energy this energy is like, we all tired, Tina. Yeah, a little bit of Nutriverse spilled in my suitcase in my little container, but it wasn't a lot. I still had enough on my trip. But the shifts are happening. And you guys know I haven't done readings. It's probably been a week or so, Nina, that I haven't done readings. And right now I'm in a space of stillness. And yeah, I'm in a space of stillness. And so I'm always obedient when the energy allows me to rest, because that means that something is on the horizon of what's going to be happening in the universe. And I need to be prepared for it so I can support you on this journey. I can't imagine what this change is, but I'll flow. Yeah, I think we're all getting a little moment of reprieve, but it's take it while it's coming. If you need to sit your AZZ down, sit it down. Don't be trying to force yourself to do anything. But definitely take it when it comes. And then, just to gear up. I always do this, and some of y'all don't even listen to me, but I'll be like, okay. And then you'll be like, Tina, guess what happened? I'm like, what? Because I know it's coming. But yeah, I'm getting a little break, and I'm honored to have it, but I also know what's coming. I also know that it's coming. So I want to thank you all for joining me. I won't know when I'm going to come back and do readings, but on Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, I am doing a distance intuitive reading gallery that is limited to 5 people. If you look on this page under events, you'll see it there. Or if you go to my website, tinachines.com, under distance intuitive reading, you'll see it there. Again, it is limited to 5 women. And I do that because y'all loved ones like to show up, and more than one likes to show up. And so I have to limit to the number of women or people who can join my galleries, because I like to create space for you and your loved ones. But I would love to share with you. If you are someone who's prefer privacy, I do private readings as well. And I actually record them before we have a conversation, because I like to listen to what the energy shares with me without interruption. And then we go and we process what was received for you. So on that note, as I was commanded to go rest, because people, my sisters pay attention and know when I start caving down, I want to wish you all a wonderful, wonderful evening. And thank you for joining. And if this message spoke to you, please share it with another phenomenal person. I would love to spread the love. So take care. Bye-bye.